Three.
Good afternoon, Standard 8. Today I shall be teaching you the twisted trial. Okay, now this is an extract taken from Les Miserables. Okay, it is a part of the story, and the area of what I am going to teach you, we start from now, and please listen to the pronunciation of the names. Okay, your Inspector Shafi had always suspected Mayor Madeline to be Sean Walshon, an old convict. However, soon the inspector learns that a Sean Walshon has been arrested in Harris, a neighboring town, under the disguised name of Shem Matthew, and that he is expected to stand trial as a witness the next day. Now, the first paragraph, we are being introduced to Inspector Shafi. Okay. Now, he has got a doubt that the Mayor Madeline is supposed to be Sean Walshon, who was a convict. Okay. And later on, he learnt that Sean Walshon has been arrested in Harris under the disguised name of Shem Matthew. That means there is one person who is holding three names. One is Mayor Madeline, that is one name. The second one is Sean O'Wallashon, and the third one is Shem Matthew. Okay, now these are three names which belongs to one person. Now obviously the inspector is going to go all out to prove that all these three names belong to one particular person. And then he says that Shem Matthew is expected to stand trial. That means he is going to be in the court. He'll be submitted in the court, and then the trial is going to take place. Now remember, Shem Matthew is supposed to be Sean Walshon and Mayor Madeline. Okay. Now, from the first words of Shavot pronounced on entering Monsieur Madeline's office, at the moment when that name which the mayor had buried was uttered, okay, he was seized with stupor. Now, when Inspector Shafi entered Monsieur Madeline's office, okay, he mentioned a particular name, Sean Walshon. Okay, this name Mayor Madeline or Monsieur Madeline had buried. Buried means now he is going in by another name, and he has forgotten the use of this name. But when Inspector Shafi mentioned it, that made him a bit nervous. His first thought was to denounce himself. Okay, the first thought was to denounce, means to announce formally the termination of something. Means he wanted to announce something lawfully. To drag Shem Matthew out of prison and to put himself in his place. He repressed this first impulse and recoiled before such heroism. Okay. Now, in order to prove that all these three people are one, so Inspector Shaffer, knowing the fact that Shea Matthew is going to be under trial tomorrow, okay, so he decided that he will disguise himself as Shea Matthew and he will appear in the court. So when he appears in the court as Shea Matthew, then the real Shea Matthew, what will he do? So just to bring out his true identity. Now this was a kind of act which the inspector was now trying to prove that all these three names belong to one single person. So this was the kind of trick Inspector Shaffer was going to play so that to bring out the real truth or the real identity of Mayor Madeline. Okay. Now returning to his room, he bolted his door. Okay, but what he wanted to keep outdoors had entered. That was his conscience. Okay. Outdoors actually meant that he wanted to forget all his past. But there is something which remained inside him. That was his conscience, his inner voice. Okay. It seemed to him that he had awakened from some slumber and he found himself gliding over a precipice upon the very edge of a abyss. He perceived in the gloom an unknown man whom fate had mistaken for him and was pushing into the gulf in his place. It was necessary, in order that the gulf should be closed, that someone should fall in, he or the other. Now, the mayor, Madeline, now he knows tomorrow Shea Matthew is going to be presented in the court. Now he had buried his past. Okay. But now, in order to prove or what is going to take place, there has been a person who is now claimed to be Shea Matthew and he is going to be present. Now this was a trick. Okay. Now the real Shea Matthew, he is being puzzled. Now he does not know that, because he knows very well that I am Shea Matthew and the person who's going to be on the trial tomorrow, he is not me. He is somebody else. Now that person is going to be proved guilty and he is going to be penalized or punished. Now this was haunting the real Shea Matthew or Mayor Madeline. Now his conscience, his inner voice, is now making him feel very nervous because tomorrow is the case and there are some witnesses. So he is now a bit troubled. Okay, so he says, and was pushing into the gulf in his place. Means somebody else is going to represent him. So what am I afraid of? Said Monsieur Madeline. After all, if there is any harm done to anybody, it is in no wise my fault. It is decided. Let the matter alone. The resolution is formed. Now when this case which is going to take place the next day, had actually frightened Monsieur Madeline or the real Chef Matthew. But then he says, what am I scared of? Now somebody is going in by my other name. So why am I getting scared? Now whatever will take place, that person will be penalized or sentenced. Okay. So now let the matter be alone. The resolution is formed. Now whatever harm comes to the person who is pretending to be Chef Matthew, he says, let him face the consequences. After the lapse of a few moments, he questioned himself upon this resolution form. Now, resolution form means when you decide to correct the wrong things you do. Okay. You want to rectify yourself, you want to better yourself. So, we call it a resolution where you have decided to change for the good. So when he ponders about this, the resolution is formed. Means that now he has to bring out some kind of solution. So though he is not going to be in the witness box, but there is some kind of fear which is haunting him. He is being troubled. So I shall keep it till here. Then I shall send a soft copy of the lesson. Okay. I will take it part by part. I will send you only the first part. So that the first page and the second page, you can read it. And then I shall send you also the word meanings. Thank you.